Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, my friends. And I am live. I have chosen this form of um, production this time, and it won't be having any music because I do not know how to add music to external music to OBS, and I'm doing this live from OBS, not pre-recorded. Yesterday, I must start by saying that I had some technical and some confusion with the organizers. Um, I didn't know the rules and regulations properly, and I was asking permission for them from them to cast the live tournament for the win tournament hashtag 61, and I was having problem with communication, but now the tournament has been commenced. The tournament is for the game Command and Conquer Red Alert 3, um, organized by GameReplays.org, sister website red3.org, and I will do a separate cast uh, which will be high definition 1080p, and we have the finalists over here, Libra aka Deepd'fantasy and Dimon as Empire. These are the grand finals. So let's start the games. On the bottom hand side we have uh, um, Dimon, yes, and on the top hand side we have Deepd'fantasy, and Deep Fantasy's gone for a vanilla build, dual refinery, while Demon has gone for a triple refinery start, capturing his side of the oil derrick and letting Deep Fantasy control the middle. And, being scouted right now, and he's gone for a war factory base pushing using the barracks, selling that barracks, and now we see Demon making his second power plant. I don't understand why Deepd'fantasy. Yes, he has done it. Sent a noticed that he has gone for a 3 refinery build, and as usual, sent a terror drone with stasis ray. In the I used to see a technique play Soviets, and he used to use a bear and a terror drone combination. Used the bear to come near the um, ore collector. The ore collector started to attack that bear, and in the meanwhile, while it was focusing on that bear, the terror drone got it. But Demon is fully aware of it, and he has moved his ore collector away. Demon has also placed a turret in the middle in this area. So don't know why this 12.6, since this 12.6 has came up, I cannot stream at full for 30 frames per second, but just bear with me guys, I'll try to resolve this in the future. um, and just these sickles are waiting, and Dimon has camped himself to perfection. Very good micro from Dimon. A new Empire player watching this, he can learn a lot from it. These walls are saving Dimon, but Deep Fantasy is also very smart and active, and usually he plays these initial matches very intensely. But still, he's a very good player. Reaching the finals is not a easy feat. He met Alvin Tay, who went on to beat Yui in the round robin matches, and Dimon has somehow managed to fix this situation in the sea refinery. I don't understand, yes, why Deep Fantasy hasn't brought in a couple of terror drones to snipe this sea refinery, and he doesn't even have map control, and this is a big problem for Deep Fantasy, I believe. This map control is very important on this map, especially versus if you are given that opportunity by an Empire player. If he goes 3 refinery start, definitely. And no turret over here. What is Deep Fantasy doing? Still he has a tank, but you see Dimon is attacking 3 collectors at the same time. He doesn't care about losing those Mechatengus, hoping that he'll do a mistake by not using the cover micro on the collector, and this is a massive mistake from Deep Fantasy, and this is exactly what I was talking about, attacking 3 separate areas. But for a player who has like played so many, I don't understand how uh, getting attacked at collector again. And finally we see some action from Deep Fantasy, harassing with a terror drone, but Dimon has a 4th refinery, and this is a big problem now, a massive problem for Deep Fantasy, especially when he's about to lose his collector once again. So what was the point of these 2 flank troopers? Maybe put a 3rd one in there as well. Just losing time to collect ore. VX trying to attack MCV, and no 4th refinery from Deep Fantasy. I think he's going for an airfield or something. Yes, a turret and a crusher crane that is so far away from the collector, but somehow the repair drones are coming. Not making a barracks, yes, making a barracks now, and a Tesla coil for those menacing Mechatengus. Anti-air turret, now he'll go for an engineer immediately. And you see Dimon, once he saw this opportunity, Deep Fantasy not controlling the middle, he's just going to try to get the middle as much as possible. Deep Fantasy has taken this protocol. No, he has not taken the protocol, which is this one, grinder thread. He usually takes them because Demon is spamming so many busters that especially after the bug fix, that hidden busters were sniped if you crawl over them. Zokar told me that I should use OBS, but this will fix my FPS issues. But this, since 12.6, This new patch. I think this patch has destroyed this game somewhat. I don't understand what this patch. I won't say anything, but this might get me into trouble if I talk against the patch. This is not CGF I'm talking about, who takes constructive criticism or something, but um, someone else. And this is a big problem, to be honest, and I have having huge issues with casting these matches of late since 12.6. I'll talk to the organizers to please play on the lower patches perhaps. Maybe that resolves issues, or maybe it's problem on my end. I don't know. I really don't know. Um, C drive or something. But we see that both players have got their 4 refineries, and as usual we see spam of mechatengus. And now we see docks. um, Somehow this collector is still taking, so why not put some units in the bullfrog and send it over here, make a bunker maybe, but perhaps he's scared from those mechatengus, and no twin blades as well, twin blades bullfrogs as well. So once again going for the ore collector, sniping that turret, base blocking. Deepd'fantasy is base blocking, and sniping that dog score without any issues. I don't understand. And a 5th refinery from Dimon as well. So without twin blades and bullfrog combos, everybody knows about it, that they are very dangerous. I don't know how, with that much economy, 4 refineries is a big thing. Why is he like not focusing? And also he's not focusing on making a Tesla coil over here. Deepd'fantasy. I mean, he has bullfrog support nearby, so that Tesla coil would protect his 2 collectors somehow. But he's not doing that. Makes for a very boring game, to be honest. Deepd'fantasy is not playing with a proper frame of mind, perhaps, and letting Demon dominate with 5 refineries, getting the middle and getting map control. Should attack this civilian structure as soon as possible. Deepd'fantasy, he has an opportunity now. I don't understand why he isn't doing that, because if Demon somehow gets inside them with these busters, look, he's doing that, it would spell curtains for Deepd'fantasy. This is his last recognized army. See, all this because he had a big opportunity of capturing these middle structures with so many conscripts uncontested from Dimon, but he didn't do that. And now Dimon will easily counter everything that is thrown at him with these busters, and he should make some Tesla troopers. He will go for some Tesla troopers, but he's more concerned from the variety of attack that is up at disposal. For Deep Fantasy has a big variety of attack, and I just went to the chat section. I can't see anybody chatting. The live chat section. Amassing a huge army, mechatengus and busters, and tsunami tanks. Mixed in with some star status tsunami tanks as well. Just, I think he lost his war factory also, and he had to remake it, so just inevitable that this game will be over quite soon. Yes. So game number 1 goes to Demon. We dive straight into game number 2. Game number 2 is on Infinity Isle, and Demon is Yellow Empire on the left hand side. The right hand side we have Deep Fantasy as Soviets, Purple Soviets. Again, same build order. I think he made a mistake by going a second refinery, but still, usually he has issues with the Tengu harassments, and this game I think he might play a bit better, moving his MCV to the rich side and making lots and lots of Imperial warriors, trying to mirror Fordell here. Fordell and Profloff, both very good players, using the um, hold micro. Very good job from Dimon, and burst drones sniping those. Some common sense from Dimon. Very good play. But still, Deep Fantasy knows that he is on 3 refineries, but good thing is that Deep Fantasy has also got his third refinery, and this time he has not waited a single moment and just gone for his airfield and is going straight for a fourth refinery in this area. Fourth refinery out in the sea area, same area where Deep Fantasy made his fourth refinery, and a tank coming from uh, hammer tank brought in by uh, twin blade. This will easily snipe it down easily. Very good job from Deepd'fantasy. This is the kind of aggression that is required versus Dimon. Busters coming out. Easily it will be sniped, and this other, I think he should really move to the sea refinery and focus on that instead, because he should focus on that sea refinery. See, this is a big problem. He has made a mistake. A mistake has been made from Deepd'fantasy not attacking that sea refinery, and I think he has realized it now that he has a sea refinery. So good for him, because those Mechatengus will easily take care. Yes, especially with those half health MiG fighters. Stimon doesn't care if he loses that collector. He knows that in unit count he is far ahead from Deepd'fantasy, and he doesn't want to lose units. His units are more important than his economy, and immediately he responds with a dog score. Why is his production so low, Deepd'fantasy? I don't understand. Let me see if he's not using his full money. And where is his MCV perhaps? Yes, his MCV is on the top side. Big problem for Deepd'fantasy, but for three MiG fighters, bad micro. He should have sacrificed all of them in a singular positioning. It's trying to be. Does he have any hammer tanks, or usually he goes for hammer tanks, but this game he has focused on bullfrog twin blades. Twin blades are quite expensive. It's not walling or base microing over here. Deepd'fantasy. Running away as soon as he sniped that collector and going for the fifth refinery. So his solution, he has harassed the sea refinery. This is the kind of campiness that is required. Typical Soviet campiness. Base camp, base, just using the base micro. Sniping that refinery, sea refinery, but losing his units, and that is what is required from Deepd'fantasy. He should continue with these efforts. See, in the minimap he is consistently trying to harass with Mechatengus, and Demon is the sort of player, he doesn't go for tier 3 at, he uses shoguns in later games. He uses shoguns, but versus Soviets you need land tier 3 units. He does such a good job with those busters and Imperial warriors, Mechatengus, that he doesn't, he feels he doesn't need those. He doesn't get panicked. Another Tesla coil. So the moon is facing a campy Soviet player, but collector not focusing much. These are things that you need to focus. Somehow has so many Mechatengus and 4 refineries built versus 5 refineries Soviets. It's so cold over here. My hands are shaking. I have, yes, the tier 3 and the Shogun, which was predicted by me. So many Mechatengus, and it's going to try to find a way to destroy uh, the, the Deepd'fantasies campiness stuff. So army is going to be sea oriented. Sniping those weak wolf frogs, and on the other hand there is some hammer tanks trying to confuse Dimon. So he's focusing on land, to be honest. So many units. He has to be very careful. Deepd'fantasy. Just two twin blades and a hammer tank. Deepd'fantasy has thrown in the towel once again. We go to Fire Island. Dive straight into it. Game number 3 coming at your doorstep, my friends. We have Dimon on the top hand side, Yellow Empire and Purple Soviets. Three refinery built from Dimon, moving his MCV. No, the third refinery was built after the war factory and he moved his MCV close. There is a turret for protecting his collector, because I think this wall segment, he doesn't want to wall this area. Yes, he has protected it. It's bugged or something. This area is sort of like bugged. A sudden transport out on the battlefield. Is trying to get that somehow that refinery was sold by Dimon thanks to that sudden transport. Uh, Capturing his side of the oil derrick, but uh, Deepd'fantasy got his oil derrick. Capturing both oil derricks, Dimon, and also in the meanwhile he's attacking that collector, and I don't understand why he doesn't focus on the Tesla coils. We saw last game he did two Tesla coils in fact, and gave time for Dimon to go for tier 3. He did himself didn't go for tier 3, even he had a refinery advantage, 5 refineries. But he's going for 4th refinery and a Tesla coil in C, and airfield out on the battlefield for Deepd'fantasy. I think Dimon will go for a fifth refinery as well. No, he hasn't made a fourth refinery. Deepd'fantasy is on four refineries. Somehow, amazingly and shockingly. But these two oil derricks are equivalent to a fourth refinery, and it's focusing more on unit production and harassing those two refinery area. It's flying around, moving those units into areas which are disc. See, once again a sudden transport has been brought in, and nothing is being done by Deepd'fantasy to destroy it, even though he has camouflaged it. Busters and Mechatangus. He has taken that grinder threat. I think so. Yes, he has taken it, which is very good versus these busters mass infantry. Fourth refinery out on the battlefield from Dimon, and fifth one from Deepd'fantasy. What is happening over here? Dimon saw that MCV over there, but he didn't attack it. Saving his super reactor and losing his war factory. So maybe Demon wanted him to slow down his production, perhaps. Those three hammer tanks are doing a menacing job. Look at it. 2-star status tank hammer tanks. Sniping war factory and refinery. And he is on 5 refineries. One collector is missing somehow. Taking MCV of Deepd'fantasy. Finishing it off and taking that rocket protocol as well. Game number 3 goes to who won that game? I think it was won by Dimon. Once again, of course, he won. And we are on industrial strength. Dimon on the top hand side. Refinery start. Fast war factory opening. Capturing the garage. Five. Yes, and game is over. 3 minutes game. I'll try to go back to that match. I didn't expect that fast a game. I'm sorry guys, I have to go back and show you what really happened. So we see Dimon doing a 3 refinery start and Deepd'fantasy going for a fast war factory and conscripts and taking the middle structure, and now this attack happens. He stops the has two uh, flank troopers with mines. A vicious attack from Deepd'fantasy. Sniping a Tengu, Mechatengu, and because he has the garage structure with him available, sniping the one power plant with these two flank troopers and keeping Demon on low power. I think also Deepd'fantasy sold his MCV somehow. He did sort of a cheese. I didn't realize it till now. Game very unusual match, but sort of a comeback for Deepd'fantasy. And now we go to the Cabana Republic match, the last one. Perhaps it is the last one. Let's see what happens. To refinery start or factory and going for the oil derricks. Moving MCV to the top side of the map. Deepd'fantasy has base crawled his super reactor far away and war factory far away. He's gone for a third refinery as well. In the meanwhile, there is some demo has made a barracks The middle of the map. Capture second oil derrick. So cold. Just have so many blankets wrapped around me. Just extreme cold over here. I hate this stupid weather. Don't know what has happened in the geo atmosphere. Weather control needs to be happening. Very extreme cold. Don't have a heater with me. Stupid country. Shall I say? Maybe I should be appreciative. Perhaps maybe I should be happy for what I have. To be honest, these are problems that I need to face. Why am I complaining all the time? Because I am human being, perhaps, and it's too cold for me. I can't tolerate it. Uh, Fourth refinery up on the battlefield for Deeply Fantasy and recapturing that oil derrick, controlling this area, and also capturing this super reactor. Deeply Fantasy. See, super reactor has been captured by Dimon from a sudden transport. And now we see a lot of busters attacking this area. Yes, I was just commenting on the chat page, uh, live chat. Makatengu's harassing. One collector has been sniped, other one will be sniped as well, and Deeply Fantasy has captured the somehow his war factory somehow using bullfrog. Now we see a plethora of VXs, some minor hammer tanks left, and war factory has been sniped. MCV has been sniped. So Deeply Fantasy only has this one war factory which he captured from Demon. But I think I shouldn't waste my time because it doesn't have that many units to contest this match. And Demon has his MCV, so he has remade the war factory. Should keep his Mechatengus alive as much as possible. Sniping his last hope. His last hope was this. So just forward this match, finish it off. So guys, though for those who are watching this live stream, I will say thank you so much for participating in the live stream. It's been an honor to provide you guys the live stream, and I would have if I could do an actual live stream of the tournament, at least some matches, but it couldn't happen. So, congratulations, uh, Dimon, on winning the For the Win tournament. Uh, for the Win tournament, hashtag 61, hashtag 61, hashtag 61. I just realized that I made a mistake in the keywords. I had to fix it. I'm sorry for that, but still, this tournament has this tournament was organized by GameReplays.org and another Red Alert 3 section, and the Red Alert 3 section for GameReplays.org is called red3.org. So head on over to there, my friends, for more information. Some prizes were cranked up today to random prize winner. I couldn't get any prizes because I didn't participate, but my friend Alvin Tay, he got a $15 random prize just for participating. I hope you liked and enjoyed this tournament, and I will try to bring this cast to high definition 1080p and hopefully 30 fps. um, I'll do some changes. I have an SSD card and I'll use that for recording purposes, SD card. And I would once again thank you guys for participating and watching this tournament. I'll be signing off. Please let me know what you guys think of this live format. Take care, my friends.